Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Sprites of Life podcast. I'm Lucas.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Don.
Happy to have you guys back. How's everyone's week been? Good? Solid?
We are good. I have a fun Pokemon story for you all.
Oh.
So I have a friend who has a 5-year-old son who has gotten he really wanted to play his first Pokemon game on their Switch. And I guess to give you the state of what the youth think about the current generations, given the options of Scarlet and Violet or Sword and Shield, he chose Sword and Shield. Particularly Pokemon Sword. Because he thought the dog looked the strongest.
I mean, for the era, he is correct. Unfortunately, now the other one has surpassed it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I told us. I said if you teach him about status moves, he'll feel differently.
Well, I mean, in Sword and Shield, Zacian was maybe.
That's true. That's yeah. But he was playing through. I think he got through like 2 or 3 gyms, and then his dad said that he hadn't touched the game in like a week and a half.
Just crap.
And he thought that he had just like lost interest. And he was like, "What's going on?" Apparently, all of his Pokemon fainted, and he did not know you could revive them.
Oh no. He was nuzlocking?
Yeah. So he just thought the game was over.
Oh no.
He was like, "Well, that's it."
Good call on his part. Like, to put it bluntly, the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona was in better shape and repair than that game, than Scarlet and Violet was, when it was being built. Like, it's weirdly enough, they got patched and made into proper games at the same time that the Sagrada Familia was completed.
No.
It's like, yeah, now you know. But
I also I offered up to trade him some of my Go backlog of Pokemon, and his favorite Pokemon was Dragonite, and so I offered him a shiny Dratini, and he said no thank you, the pink ones aren't as strong.
Ooh. Oh no, he gonna learn. Okay, hear me out. You need to make an all pink team and just like crush him.
I humbled the 5-year-old when he wanted to play the TCG games with me, and last year I gifted him one of those battle academies with like the pre-made decks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so he took the Darkrai deck, which in that set is like the advanced deck. It's got like, the bigger cards. And he's like, I want this one because it's got the better cards. And I was like, all right. And so I took the Pikachu deck, and I this sounds really awful, but like I beat the 5-year-old. And I was not a stickler about rules. He definitely evolved a Bisharp from an Yveltal.
As one does.
Yeah, that's how the game goes.
Well, but I let it slide, and we talked about the game, and I still won and showed him that power doesn't just mean the biggest number.
On the note of the Pokemon competitive scene, I kind of started writing this episode right about 3 days after after the newest batch of Megas got added. Would you like to take a wild guess which newest Mega Pokemon and Pokemon Champions inspired this episode?
The Raptor.
Staraptor Mega formed is annoying. You're not unbeatable. Like, there was a weird 72-hour period where everyone was like, oh my god, it can't be killed. And then the Dawns of the world were like, watch this.
I think so. I think Mega Staraptor is strong. However, someone on Twitter had a very good take on it. X, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of like a Psy-Spam team from Scarlet and Violet era, where if you're unprepared for it, you're probably going to get rolled by it. But also, a lot of common things can check it well if you pilot it properly. But there's going to be a few people that crack it, like you see with Psy-Spam. And it's going to make a few like really deep runs, but the super straightforward way is probably the wrong way to do it.
Mm-hmm. I saw this bird ripping apart ladders, built a team out of a few scraps, and it did really well. Then I put it away, realizing it just wasn't who I was.
Fun fact, it gets Blaze Kick.
It does, but I like Blaze Kick. I didn't like that it was 90% accuracy and missed when I needed to, so I got rid of it.
That's fair.
I thought this would be a good chance because we did talk about flying types a while ago. To get more specific, I want to specifically talk about the birds of prey that were built in. I mean, Staraptor is the biggest, scariest bird of prey in the game at the moment. I do want to talk
Well,
about
what do we count Yveltal as?
Evoltol.
It's a bird of prey.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna ask you that. That's very important. Hold on to Yveltal and what is a bird of prey, because this will be interesting. Um, let's get to the science news, the gaming stuff. Okay. So as far as science news goes, this one isn't a discovery, but it does have impact on science. So, anyone here familiar with the T-Rex fossil known as Gus?
Is this the one that was like is going on sale?
Not just going on sale, he was sold.
Did Nicolas Cage buy this one too?
No, I couldn't find the name of the guy who bought it. Hang on. Yeah, it was excavated out of South Dakota. And its name Gus comes from the man Gary Licking, really? Okay, Gary Licking, the owner of the land, who where they found it in 2021 and excavated it out in 2023. I didn't find the name of the person who actually bought the thing. I think it was just like they didn't want to put their name out there. Would you like to guess how much Gus was sold for?
Tree Fitty.
Six
Tree
hundred
Fitty.
thousand.
It's
He
got to
broke
be
the
like 20
record.
million.
He broke the record at $50.1 million.
I'm sure George St. Pierre is sad because I was sure he wanted to buy that.
Yeah. $50.1 million. The last fossil that sold was a Stegosaurus fossil named Apex, and that sold for $44.6 million.
Stegosaurus. Was it like the full skeleton Stegosaurus?
Yeah, it was a full, like, whole
Kind of
Stegosaurus
seems like a
fossil.
good deal, honestly. I would be susceptible.
It would be in my living room. Not large enough, but we'd make it work.
I will
We'd
adjust
remove
the house.
Yeah, we'll fix the house. The reason I wanted to talk about it in science news is because there are paleontologists who, what if this becomes like a Pokemon card thing where, hey, these people have these exclusive fossils. I'm super wealthy. I want my own exclusive fossils. And in America, the law is if you find it on your land, it's yours. In other countries, if you find any fossils, like in Brazil, the rule is, hey, it belongs to the state if you found a fossil, and we will be deciding what goes with it. And that's due to in part to people coming in from other countries, excavating fossils and taking them away. So it's interesting because there have been cases where there are fossils, rare, important scientific studies that can be found, but they're in private collections. And the private collector's a jerk and doesn't want you to see them. So then there's this issue of how much do you want to let people keep the super awesome T-Rex fossil because it's cool, and how much can we study and learn from it by leaving it in the hands of museum peoples? See where I'm going with here?
Yeah.
It is really cool.
I personally don't know. Like, I don't think your average Joe Schmo like needs a T-Rex skeleton, but that's coming from me, a poor.
I would say if I were to possess a T-Rex skeleton or any big dinosaur skeleton, I would at the very least have like it in a front room of my house with big floor to ceiling windows so that at least then the poors could gaze upon it. And I'd have like a little kiosk of good facts about it.
You just literally you pay a part-time educator to stand in front of your house.
I would. I think that's the ethical way to have a priceless fossil artifact.
If I had ungodly amounts of money where I could just buy complete fossil skeletons, I would buy them and I would give them to local elementary schools so that every elementary school had a different dinosaur in its front lobby.
Okay, well that's very nice. I was gonna say, or I
But
would
like,
open a
imagine how
museum.
sick that'd be. Like, you just walk into school and there's like a Triceratops.
That's pretty
Sick.
cool.
Oh, okay. I forgot one thing. Gus is approximately 61% complete by bone count, 75 to 80% complete in terms of bone mass, which is much more preserved than than a lot of others.
Yeah.
Just wanted to put that out there. Was not 100%, just to make it clear.
I don't think there's any. Are there any?
Yeah,
100%?
yeah. I don't
No, there's no 100%. Like to become a fossil, period, is 0.001% chance for any living thing when they die. So yeah, you're not. It would be insane.
So
Like
these are the elite of the dinosaurs.
Yeah, no, it's a T-Rex. It's a gosh darn T-Rex. So
I wonder
yeah,
what like the most affordable but also still like respectably sized dinosaur fossil is.
What's your budget? What's the budget friendly?
Yeah,
The
I
budget.
want a big skull, but also, you know, it doesn't have to be. It could be the thing that it'll be on like episode 4 of Walking with Dinosaurs, you know, we're not top billing, but
Weirdly enough, it's not a dinosaur. If you're looking for like top billing cool stuff, it would be an ammonite, like one of the really big ones.
I
Mm.
believe that makes sense.
Yeah, there were 10,000 recorded species of ammonites in the fossil record. Like there were some real big ones. If you get one of those,
Don's gonna become the Kabuto king of Ammonites.
just ommonites.
Yeah.
He collects all the ommonite cards and puts them next to his giant ammonite fossil he bought off eBay.
The Omastar oligarch.
Oh, now okay. If we had enough fans for and money and power for a shirt, that would be the shirt. Okay. On to gaming news. Don, you brought it to my attention earlier about Assassin's Creed Black Flag. There were two things that were weird about Black Flag when it came out. One was the $85 worth of microtransactions on like a $60 game. That's not great.
Not ideal, especially for a sort of a remake of a previous game.
Yeah. Like there was something about like the art that they did, they changed it.
Oh, in terms of oh, yes, the I guess they like censored the figureheads on some ships or
Oh
something
yeah,
like
they
that.
like gave some of the characters clothes they did not
Well,
have.
no, but like the
Not the
wooden.
characters, the figureheads.
Yeah, which I think is a kind of a little ridiculous not to be like the, oh my god, they're taking our games.
I think I
But
saw
one,
someone said that pirates were known for their
their
modesty.
modesty. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Pirate. If there's any group that's known for covering up women's revealing clothing, it's pirates. But no, I do think it's a little interesting and kind of a bummer from the Assassin's Creed franchise, which is always, yes, you fist fight the Pope and there's gods, but also they sort of lean into a level of historical accuracy that I kind of like, at least from some things. And yeah, I do think covering up the figureheads on ships is kind of a little bit almost like a satirical thing. It reminds me of in the I want to say it was like the Middle Ages when there was a time period when they were basically like putting plaster clothes on top of like nude statues, like famous nude statues from like the classical era to like modesty them up. Um which is a little wild. And I guess the part of the figurehead thing too has to deal with some old superstitions involving like beautiful women calming storms, but actual women were considered to be bad luck on boats, so you replaced them with a wooden one, and that I guess was the compromise for the era.
We're
I
all
get
about compromise
yeah,
here.
that's what pirates were famous for, compromise. I do think it's really dumb given what the game's whole thing is about. Like, not even just piracy. It's Assassin's Creed. You're not going around the high seas looking for loot. You're going on the high seas looking for loot and killing people. Lots of people for money. Like, it's not exactly like sunshine and roses. Like, it's not like Sea of Thieves or any of the other pirate games where it's like, oh, we're having a sea shanty all the time. No, I'm whaling and I'm killing people. Like,
That
it's
said,
not.
we do they do have some good sea shanties in there. Leave Her Johnny is one of my favorites.
Leave Her Johnny is an absolute banger. I still remember there was one Dragon Con where we were waiting for a panel and one of the guys just started singing sea shanties with the crowd and they all just kind of joined in and they started improvising
You're
lyrics.
right. I do remember that.
That was fun. That was a good time. Um okay. So that was the quick gaming news I wanted to do just because it just seems really dumb. Ubisoft, you have the pirate game. Stop screwing up more than you already do just for once in your lives. But now let's get to birds, specifically the birds of prey. So there are 11,000 bird species that currently exist on our planet, give or take. Do either of you have like a favorite?
A favorite of all birds.
Yeah, just out of 11,000.
I mean, I've always had a soft spot for hummingbirds.
Okay. All
I
right.
really like hummingbirds. I've got to say one, the swallowtail kite is one of my
Mm.
favorites. I love the time of year right now when I get to see them flying around. I think they're really cool. And Also, I think I've developed a big affinity for the canvasback duck as well. I think they're a really cool duck. They have a lot of history behind them as well. And I've only ever seen one a couple times, and I've been very excited. I think I'm just getting more and more into bird watching. I have one of those feeders now that has
Oh,
the camera on
the
it.
camera feeders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my little bird palantir.
Okay. um, with birds specifically, because there are 11,000 of them, they all have their own niche, their own ecosystem. There's so many of them. It's very hard to put them in neat little boxes. So when you talk about birds of prey, there is no specific term for what is a bird of prey. Like there are definitely those who consider some birds of prey versus others, but if you wanted to be that guy about it, if your bird hunts living things, then it's a bird of prey. So
Well,
you were saying,
that puts almost everything if you go that
yeah,
angle.
Wyvelta is a bird of prey. it hunt, yeah, it's a bird of prey. I don't, a blue jay eats a bug, bird of prey.
Is there any that if you go off that definition, is there a single bird Pokemon that would not be a bird of prey?
Do we have a hummingbird?
Rabam? No, wait, no.
No, that's a
a
bug.
fly.
No.
No, toucans will definitely eat. Oh, that
Yeah.
toucan is still at large. The one that I've seen around here that's loose.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, we gotta. That's how we make some money. We go find the toucan. Um. Yeah. No. Pretty much every bird would be that.
Maybe. I mean, so certain ducks are almost entirely vegetarian, but they're still just by the nature of how they exist are still getting like small like crustaceans and things. I was gonna say
Psyduck is too
ducklet, who everyone
Yeah.
forgets exists
Oh,
in
Psyduck.
Swana.
He's a little too dumb to hunt
What do bats eat?
insects
And
Okay.
nectar,
or fruit.
or fruit, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I would not call Zubat and them fruit bats.
I was thinking more Noibat.
Yeah, but not a bird.
Oh, okay, fine.
It's a mammal.
You're right. You're right. I'm
Yeah.
dumb.
So
Pigeons are pretty seed heavy.
yeah, they're pretty. They wouldn't do anything too crazy.
What is Gligar?
Gligar? Manicore? What is it called?
A scorpion
Manticore?
fly?
Yeah. Well. What is Gliscor? Tune in 2 weeks to find out.
It's a bat scorpion. It's a thing that's not real. I don't know.
Oh, you wait. No, never mind. Not a bird.
Not a bird. Yeah, you see.
I was gonna say Emolga.
Yeah, you see. It's
Question.
a squirrel.
Okay, is this a thing? Okay, I have a theory. You guys continue. I'm checking on something.
So we're gonna go by the definition that when I talked to the bird keepers who angrily told me to shut up when I went down this rant, they specify that when you're talking about birds of prey, you're mainly talking about the ones that would hunt vertebrates, mainly as their main diet, and have great eyesight, powerful wings, sharp talons, and that curved beak. So most raptors are going to be including things like falcons, eagles, hawks, owls, vultures, and condors. Those are the biggest groups of them. In some cases, like the condor, literally. Their sizes are pretty impressive. So you'll have massive condors that have a wingspan wider than your car, and then you'll have falconets, which are the smallest raptors, which only weigh about 30 grams. So there is a very wide range in size, a very wide range in diet, but they all hunt mainly vertebrates as their prey and are specifically designed to do so. Like they're really good at what they do.
Okay, time out real quick. I have to say, so if a Pokemon, much like the high horsepower theorem, if it learns Brave Bird, it is a bird.
Oh no.
Okay.
Which actually is kind of tracks. Crobat is actually a bird. So that's just sort of how it works. But other than that, pretty much everything. Tapu Koko is also a bird.
I mean, yeah, it is a bird. I buy that.
Tracks. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, honestly, looking at it, I think pretty much only birds actually learn Brave. The only sort of one that's not is obviously the Zubat line.
Huh.
Which I do think.
What is the least bird? I mean, I would say Altaria. Well, I guess whatever. It's a dragon.
The least
It's-
bird, I think, is probably going off my idea. I think it's Zubat and friends.
Definitely.
It's a mammal. It's not
Yeah.
a bird.
Everything else is just actually a bird. I guess Tapu Koko is sort of some sort of rooster god, but
Yeah, close enough.
I do like that they're all like birds, and then out of nowhere you just have like the ones that are bipedal, like Blaziken, who's just like standing there, like I
Okay,
will
well,
smack
also
you.
Mew is a bird, at least in Gen 8, because Brave Bird's a TM,
Yeah,
and Mew learns it.
Oh joy. Okay. um for the sake of sanity, we'll just focus on Eagles, Hawks, and Falcons today. And the difference between the three can get a little confusing. There was one dumb definition that an eagle is any bird of prey that can hunt slash carry away anything that's 50 centimeters long.
That
Like I
doesn't
don't
make
like.
any sense at
that's
all.
too specific.
Also, like,
Yeah,
what about snakes and then smaller birds?
exactly. Exactly. Like a hawk could pick up a pretty good sized rattlesnake that is way longer than 50 centimeters. They are the eagles are the largest of the birds of prey, discounting things like condors who famously feed on carrion. They have wedge-tailed wings. They tend to use brute force for their hunting, and they're much more known for gliding on thermals than they are for actually flapping their wings and hunting through forests. They are high in the sky, keeping an eye out for prey, and then they'll come down to a lower height and attack it with their full strength. They're not about speed. They have enough power in their talons in some cases to crush a softball. The Hawks, medium size, and have some of the highest diversity of the group. They are found on every single continent except Antarctica. They come in all different patterns. They come in all different shapes and sizes. But specifically, they are known for perch or ledge hunting. So whether you go from a tree filled forest or a desert or a grassland, they're going to go from perch to perch to perch and then jump down and attack. We have a group of hawks in a small park near where I work, and they dive bomb and attack squirrels. And in return, the crows attack them because they're probably going to eat their babies if they don't.
I saw
They're
actually
also
a very cool, sorry, hawk predation event over the weekend. I was watching a group of gallinules out swamp hens, also a term for them, out over my girlfriend's apartment, and they were out in the grass, and then all of a sudden something set them off, and then just out of the oak tree, a hawk just dropped directly down on top of one.
they're quick, they're stealthy, and they're really good at what they do.
The my bird of prey story is that we were roughing a soccer game. I think it was like U9, so like little kids, and we were on the artificial turf fields where they like cake them in those rubber pellets,
Oh,
which create a lot of like thermals. And I don't know what kind of bird it was, but it was like one of those birds of prey that like just kind of glides on the solars.
mm-hmm.
And it was just hovering above, and the kids were playing, and it was yeah, fun. And then you just hear this ungodly screech as this thing dive bombs a squirrel that had gotten close to the field, and then it carried the squirrel over the field, dripping blood on the small children.
That's pretty awesome.
What is it with you and small children and learning hard lessons?
Look, you ref soccer enough, lots of crazy stuff happens. Just look at the
Okay.
World Cup.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Look, as long as Argentina loses this weekend, I'll be fine. Um, so Falcons are nuts. Like the Hawks and the Eagles, they are using their power to kind of do this work. The Falcons are just pure, like, just force of momentum, acceleration, speed, death. Like, instead of using their talents to hunt, like, properly, like to grab and slash, when they are dive bombing their prey, most of the time it's happening in midair because they're specialized at attacking other birds. They will form their talon into a fist and punch their prey out of the sky.
So you're
Nice.
saying it's almost as if a certain character is very accurate in their most powerful attack.
Only if they were in the military and had some kind of rank. Not a
Oh,
major, something
not a
else.
major, or yeah, maybe they could be in the navy as
A
well.
corporal? No.
Close to corporal.
Well, it definitely starts with a C.
Definitely
I
starts with
guess
a
we'll
C.
never know. Anyway, the thing I love about them, aside from their disgustingly fast speed, is their curved beak. If you look at the curved beak, it literally is built that way so that way they can snap the spines of their prey to stop them from moving anymore. Like they are built for getting quick, snap its neck, and just get to work. Because most of the time they're a little bit smaller or just weaker than some of their counterparts.
Yeah, they're more of a glass cannon
Yeah,
sort of.
they are. Yeah, the bald eagles are the tanks. The hawks are the average fighter, and then your falcons are the glass cannons. We could go deeper. Owls and vultures are also birds of prey. They're highly specialized. Like an owl, I will argue, is almost too good at what it does
It's
because it's
kind of
so
unfair.
yeah, like all the other birds of prey, they're gonna go to sleep at night. The owls are up sunrise, sunset. They don't care. I'm sorry. Best hearing in the animal kingdom. Some of the best eyesight to see day or night. Can pick up and identify different prey based off the sound it makes when it's running. And then you have the vultures, who could just digest anthrax and eat almost anything except pesticides, which is kind of why there aren't so many condors anymore. But it's crazy how adapted those groups are to the point where if we did talk about them, we would have to dedicate a lot more time to this. But as far as the human relationship goes, before there were soccer fields to terrorize children, raptors were around humans for thousands of years. It was the wealth status. It was the T-Rex in the living room of the ancient world. You would just have a falcon, and in fact, there are manuals on falconry that date back over 800 years.
Oh, so I actually I went through a phase where I was really, really into falconry in like middle school. I still think it's really cool. If I ever had the money, I would definitely get into it. But my cousin, my older, went to the Air Force Academy, and they have a falconry program there. So when she graduated, I actually got to go tour the facilities, and that was really cool. But I do. It's like the complete falconer, but spelled with like extra E's and A's because old timey.
Hmm.
And I got a copy of that just as a part of my interest. And it's yeah, like you said, it dates very far back, and it's fascinating the amount of like old treaties and stuff they have regarding that, and how at least in parts of England, they were like the specific type you could have was also limited by your like rank. Like something like a gyrfalcon, you had to be like top tier royalty to be allowed to fly one.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that part. Um, I will say I wish people liked them as much now. I mean, back then, ugh. Back then they were treated with respect. They were treated as like this item that needed to be preserved. Today, depending on which raptor you're talking about, because there's well over 100 species of them, they're not doing so great. Some in the wild, like the bald eagle one, was completely wiped out. Others, like the peregrine falcon, were almost wiped out, but adapted to urban living. Basically, if you're one of the ones that can't adapt to humans and their environment as well, you tend not to do so great. And that's the same for any animal. Um, I really, the number one thing affecting them right now in the United States are pesticides and chemicals, environmental destruction, the classics, and then cars. Cars are a big one. Like they keep getting hit by cars a lot.
Yeah, especially when with the ones that are more willing to scavenge, you'll see where raccoons or whatever has been hit by a car, and then an opportunistic bird of prey comes down there to to pick off it, and then they proceed to get hit as well.
We tell a lot of people where I work that if you are the kind of person to throw their like banana peels and orange peels out of the cars, don't do that because you're attracting the pests, which attract the birds, and
Mm.
that tends to be a huge problem for them. I mean, here's hoping that people, I mean, they're, it's not like spiders and snakes where you have to work extra hard to get people to like them. Just like, look, cool bird. And then every man over 30 is like, indeed, cool bird.
There's
And then we
I
can
mean,
continue.
even I would say men under 30, which really everyone under 30 also. I mean, if you look at the amount of countries that have some form of bird of prey on their flag or sigil, it's got to be, is it the most common animal on flags up there probably with like lions?
I think it'd be up
It's
there.
gotta be, and also,
Yeah.
and man, you factor in like sports teams too.
That's true. How many teams can we find named after eagles?
It's one of those animals like it's weird calling them charismatic megafauna because they're not that big, but I guess they are relatively for birds. But at the same time, it's almost like a universally appealing animal. I can't, at least off the top of my head, I'm sure there are some, but globally, most cultures that have large birds of prey attach some level of, you know, importance or power or respect to them, even if they also, are, they might also dislike them for attacking livestock, but generally there's a level of mythos around them,
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, you're right.
and they
Um,
also don't really attack that much livestock.
as far as Pokemon go, there aren't any like there aren't too many like true birds of prey. Like there are the ones we joked about and like talked about just eating meat. But let's start with the man of the hour. Staraptor, the menace, is honestly, it's not based on any singular bird of prey that I am aware of, like at all.
It's
Like,
just bird that hurts
well,
you.
it's not bird thing because it started off as a starling,
Which
then it becomes
honestly,
a
if you want to
bigger
talk about
starling.
actually damaging things, starlings are probably doing more damage from a purely invasive standpoint than
I get in the United States, it's the European starling, right?
well, yes, yes. Can I talk about why we have them?
Oh, please do.
So, do you guys know why we have starlings?
You've told me at some point in my life.
Someone left them loose for a park to look good.
Dumber, actually. So I believe it was the North American Acclimatization Society back in like the 18 or early 1900s, based in New York, decided that we should, as a nation, have every bird that's mentioned in Shakespeare. And Shakespeare
Huh?
mentioned starlings.
Just have
Oh,
them?
Yes,
just
that they
have
should
them.
would just be in the wild. So they
Okay.
released a few hundred, and I think in like Central Park. And since then, I off the top of my head, I can't say what the current North American population is, but it's got to be in the tens of millions.
Well, at least this starling, it seems to be based on something called a white-cheeked starling.
93 to 150 million.
I don't have anything for that. Well, there's that one guy on like YouTube I've seen who like trained his pet kestrel to hunt them. He just
Yes,
throws them out of his car.
they taste good too. You see that in some European cuisines when they talk about bird pies and things like that. There's some long back. It's not there's over here. There's not really that much attachment to eating songbirds, but traditionally in parts of Europe, that's much more common practice.
I feel like you need a few. It's like chicken wings where you just had to get a bunch of them instead of
I
like
think
one.
I mean, well, there's 150 million, so I guess that's an option.
Okay, well, now we know what to do if we ever need. We're strapped for cash. Don, we're going to Central Park. Get your things.
I have
Um,
two of them nesting like under the eaves of my house, or at least I did.
so in the decks, Staraptor does everything that a raptor's supposed to do. They have powerful wings and legs, attack small play, mostly solitary. Um, there are exceptions. There are things like the Harris Hawk, which is no, it's not yeah, the Harris Hawk that will actually hunt in pairs. And of course,
Yes.
there's some that's really cool. That's why they work so well in falconry that they can actually learn a little bit better.
Yeah, the
Um,
Harris's Hawks they'll even go in larger groups and sort of chase prey in a almost a relay style.
They're one of the exceptions, but it's a really exceptional exception. One thing about Staraptor that's weird is that it keeps attacking even when it's injured. And I understand, like, the bravado. Look at it's emo sweep. It's a tough guy. But like with birds, they typically know when to split. Like they do not pick fights that they cannot win, and they will run at a drop of a hat if things are not looking great.
Yeah, even the most intense and like large and powerful predatory bird, at the end of the day, their bones are hollow.
Yep.
They're not. I mean, there's a reason why close combat drops your defenses, unless you're Mega Staraptor that does the opposite. And there are a few birds of prey. Mega Staraptor doesn't have. It's kind of the gray coloration, but goshawks in particular are sort of, at least within falconry stuff, if you look at historical things, are kind of famous for their bravery. And I guess in the wild too, they've been known to pursue even like prey on foot if it goes into like a hollow log or something.
Mm-hmm.
But there's much more the exception than the rule.
Yeah, no. Megastaraptor is just like I showed a picture of it to my bird keeper peeps that I work with, and they're like, "Oh, I love his emo sweep. He looks so edgy." Everyone just recognizes this overly intense, edgy bird, and I thought Bisharp was edgy, being made of knives.
I
This thing
like
is,
to in my mind whenever I use Mega Staraptor, mid 2000s Linkin Park is also playing.
it needs one of them like Naruto AMV videos to go with it too.
Yes.
Yeah, they're the classics. As you said earlier, Megastaraptor is definitely one of those Pokemon where if you're not prepared for it, you're going to get punched to death by a bird and his pet cotton ball who keeps buffing it. But if you know what it's about and how to stop it, it's generally not the worst thing in the world.
I think the Gremlin is scarier than the Cotton Ball.
Really. Yeah, you're right. I mean, like with Scary Face, it can boost
Well,
speed,
not
parting
necessarily
shot.
even that, but yeah, you can just fake out close combat and then parting shot into other thing and then like cycle it.
Yeah, it makes it a little more interesting to fight.
I think
And it
focusing
is
on
pretty
its
fun
bulk
to do.
first is maybe the better way to run it because you see people going straight for the charm or
Hmm.
whatever, and I think that's maybe a little too much greed off the bat.
I like the builds that go for more defense. I like the ones who use fake tiers.
Yeah,
Because I
fake
think that's where
tears.
everyone's going to target. It's like it's special defense, it's weakest. I'll go for that, and then you
I
just
think
fake tiers.
that I think Tickle is also a very cool move to use on it.
This is not a serious conversation anymore.
No, hey, this is Pokemon. This is very serious. Um, he's not really based on much of a bird of prey, but he's very much still a bird of prey of his own design. He's cool. Staraptor was always cool. He didn't need a mega to be any cooler. Um, the next bird, we actually did talk about this one a while back. We talked about Braviary when we did our Indigenous Peoples episode. Um, but we didn't really talk as much about like Rufflet and some of the and Hisuian Braviary either. So first off, I gotta say, level 54 to evolve a bird Pokemon is insane.
Unova is rather lengthy with a lot of
And
its evolution lines. Unless you're in black and white too, and then you just catch a Braviary, but like only on a Tuesday afternoon or however black and white 2 works.
it was very level heavy. And it just seems really weird to have like my fully evolved Embor combined with my fully evolved other crew on my Excadrill and all these other guys. And then you have, oh, my level 50 little bird boy. And just sitting. I don't know. It doesn't fit. It doesn't work for me. Don't like it.
So I actually looked up just out of curiosity of what to see if maybe there was a level of realism, like because birds vary on how long they take to leave the nest.
Yep.
But then I was just see so the crested eagle requires a nesting period of 105 to 115 days, and the harpy eagle and Philippine eagle will keep their fledglings dependent for sometimes over 6 months, which is pretty long for a bird's development time in
That
particular.
is
So
a
I guess maybe
lot.
there's a little bit there. And Braviary, despite obviously having a lot of bald eagle similarities with the head crest, does also kind of remind me of a harpy eagle. So
Hmm.
I'll give him slight points, but also I would much rather have it be viable mid game because I like it.
Yeah, no. With the bald eagle being like 10 to 14 weeks before it can get out of its nest. It's like, no, let it evolve at 40. I'll take 40. We can
40 is
go with
still
40.
ridiculous.
40 is ridiculous, but you got to give a little bit of leeway.
I mean, maybe
In
if
the
you're
game,
catching Rufflet or like late game and then it's only a few levels, but
yeah, no. It talks about in the game how it can eat berries but prefers meat. They crack a shelter with their talons, and that makes sense given that a bald eagle can crush a softball with its talons. But I do love how it like, oh yeah, we can feed it berries, but it prefers meat. If you tried giving berries to like a little baby bald eagle, it would more than likely spit them out than bite you. Then again, if you fed it meat, it would also just eat it and then bite you. They do not don't give your birds of prey fruit. They do not care for them. I've seen people give them fruit in terms of enrichment. Like I once saw a bird of prey. They gave it a head of lettuce and they stuffed bits of fish inside of it. Yeah, it just ripped the lettuce apart and took the fish. It did not even sample the green stuff. Not its thing.
I was worried about the parasite.
Wash your vegetables, folks. Everyone listening, please wash your vegetables.
I've
Or
heard
cook,
some
cook.
stuff that washing the nets doesn't necessarily even work on this particular issue. It
Yeah,
seems
you
like it
gotta
should be
cook. You gotta cook.
inside the.
You gotta cook it.
You gotta cook it. Braviary is an awesome looking Pokemon. We already had a really cool talk about it in our Indigenous Peoples episode and how cool they are in that regard. I They are described as hot-headed and belligerent, which if you want to make a comment on America being hot-headed and belligerent, go ahead. Everyone has. But in real life, like yeah, that's what a bald eagle would be. I've never met a bald eagle described as pleasant and patient. It's usually some combination of sassy, angry, uncouth, or just violent. Like they're not the friendly. They can be trained. They can work with people, but most of them are not going to be readily available for head scratches. Weirdly enough, I know at least one owl that is. But Hisuian Braviary, I think, is way cooler because it's a stellar sea eagle. And those things are rad. Like a bald eagle has a 6 to 7 foot wingspan. Good for it. A sea eagle has an 8 foot wingspan and weighs over 20 pounds. It is a buff bald eagle. It's wicked. So cool.
20 pounds is a lot with hollow bones.
Shout out to Stellar for naming like 20 things after himself.
Yeah, I wish his manatee had lived. The Stellar Sea Cow.
I know the Stellar Sea Cow is really cool. I do think that's an interesting situation because it seems like from all accounts it was kind of on its way out even before like the Europeans found it.
Mhm.
It was kind of restricted to like a single island, and it seemed like it was pretty huntable for like the native population as well, and the numbers have just sort of been dwindling.
It's
Yeah, it's one of those animals where people didn't clearly didn't help, but also even if no one messed with it, I'm not sure if it would be around in any appreciable numbers today, which is very unfortunate because it sounded like an incredible
it's it sounded rad. Like I would have loved to have seen it.
just the
Uh,
super manatee.
yeah, I'm sure Super Manatee is definitely. They should have just. You know what, Stellar? We can't keep using your name for everything. You got to name it something else. Super Manatee. All right, fine. We'll use that.
Have you seen the I think it's in San Francisco, one of the places that has a lot of sea lions. There's like two stellar sea lions, which are like 4 times the size of normal ones. Have just
No,
come off they've just come off course and now they're just there. And there's just like normal sea lions, which are like 600 pounds for a big male. And then there's these two that are just like several tons, just or like a ton. Just they just pop out and just sink the entire dock the rest of them are sitting on.
I mean, it's not like the other ones are going to be able to tell it no. As
Yeah.
far as the Stellar Sea Eagle, they're found in Asia. They're found on the opposite side of the Bering Strait to the U.S. So think Hokkaido, Russia, China, South Korea. They can be found a lot of places. They're pretty adapted to the ice. And the craziest thing that I've ever heard them doing was there was one that was found all the way in Maine. Like it flew across Canada and ended up in Maine. We have no idea how it got there.
It
But a
flew.
bunch of the
We
birders
just we
lost their
just
mind.
figured it out.
Yeah, just found just get, honestly, there's nothing really stopping it. There's food on
There's
the
fish.
way.
I think there's fish in northern Canada. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
made it.
Something tells me there's food in that direction for this bird. No problem. Meanwhile, Hisuian Braviary shoots fish with its mind, which is just a dope way of considering it. Like it's just like what makes you different from this one? Well, I can blast things with my brain. Its main ability, it's what's its cat's Esper Crash, I think it's called. What is it?
Esper wing.
Esper Wing.
Mhm.
Thank you. That's a really cool attack. And I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
just sort of has a I
It's like
really
a
looked at Braviary a lot, um,
what are its abilities?
in various times, and it does have
Doesn't it have keen eye?
so its good ability for Hisuian Braviary is Tented Lens.
That's what I meant.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, that makes okay. Like I was remembering like which abilities everyone had because I forgot. Braviary, I always assume it got something like Defiant.
Normal
Did it not?
Braviary does have Defiant.
It does. Yeah, normal Defiant does have Defiant, Keen Eye, Sheer Force, yada yada yada.
So the awkward thing with the Hisuian Braviary is it gets slow. And so it sort of begs for Trick Room, but its signature move boosts its speed. But even at base 65, you kind of need one or two to really get going.
I
And
like how
it
it's
does get expanding force, but because you're a flying type, you don't get to click Tented Lens, which boosts the power of non-super effective moves to neutral from not very effective. But so there were times when people were running Iron Ball, Hisui, and Braviary in Scarlet and Violet, so they could click Tented Lens Expanding Force because it basically just bypassed anything that wasn't a dark type.
it's not the dumbest strategy. I mean, it worked for some people. I just think it's funny that it gets sheer force and it's like ability, like, hey, your cool attack? Yeah, not that cool no more.
Yeah, but you get to put a life orb on it, and it learned and not take recoil, and it learns Heat Wave.
So it's either Iron Ball or Life Orb. Pick an orb.
He's an orb enjoyer.
Ponder the orbs. Which one will you choose? Okay. The last one, and honestly the most infamous as far as like Pokemon competitive scenes go, it's Talonflame.
I'd say it has to be. Were you
Yeah.
were
The
you
I
guys
named
there for the 2014 Talonflame pre Gale Wings nerf?
No, I was not.
it's
So
not a good time.
Gale Wings used to just be if it's a flying move, it has priority. That was the whole way it worked. Did not need to be full health. So there would be many games of competitive stuff where you get to the end game and they would just have a choice band Talonflame. And they could just click Brave Bird over and over.
That seems like not great.
Well,
No,
it's very funny because Talonflame's attack stat is like lower than Amungus's special attack stat.
but if you just give it an 120 quick
Yes.
attack with the choice band,
Yeah, Talonflame has 81 base attack.
it's not. Yeah, it doesn't seem so scary until you realize what you can do with it. It's not. I mean, it's still useful though. Like it's still usable. So it wasn't the worst nerf ever for it, but it's still very funny.
Yes, no,
It is.
Talonflame's still really good. It's still extremely fast. Fire flying is good. Um, from a purely competitive standpoint, inarguably the best of the Route 1 birds.
Oh yeah,
More than
by a mile.
Corviknight?
Yes,
Oh yeah,
I would say Talonflame as a whole. Right now, I think it might still be better than Corviknight. Corviknight's really good on sand teams. I think Talonflame might still be better overall. And in terms of accomplishments from the last 10 years, I mean, obviously it hasn't been around as long, but I think Talonflame has had much more of the higher peaks.
Corviknight is like top tier in Go right now.
Oh, is it? I mean,
Yeah.
it's good in VGC as well.
it's not like it's a bad Pokemon. It's just like if you're ranking them, like one of them is better. It is kind of neat that it comes from a cedar waxwing. Like its middle evolution is more interesting than the fletchling. Like a cedar waxwing is just a random songbird that's really cool to look at. It feeds on berries, really neat, and then it just turns into effectively a flaming hot falcon.
So
And
Talonflame has at least 78 regional top eights and 6 regional wins, 7 international top eights and 1 win.
better than that's better than any other starter bird has ever done. I think, right?
I'm
Probably.
checking it against Corviknight. Corviknight has 2 regional wins with 17 top eights and 2 internats top eights. So it is firmly mogged by Talonflame.
Okay. Excellent.
But
Good.
Corviknight has a pretty good run for being as new as it is.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
no,
it
no
has
one's
an incredible ability.
Yeah, great ability, good use of bulk up and iron defense. Love it. Does good stuff. In the game, it talks about how Talonflame can dive at about 300 miles per hour. In real life, unfortunately, the Peregrine Falcon can only dive at a measly 220 miles per hour. So, not even worth talking about. Just that's not much. There's an amazing video. We've shown it at the panels a few times where a duck is getting killed by a falcon, and they have to slow down the camera because one frame the duck is standing there, and the other has been knocked on its back and it's flailing as it's unable to move because a falcon punched it in the head. Like it's not okay how fast these things are and how effectively they can use gravity to their advantage. There is one bit that I read in the text that was weird. Talonflame can apparently pick up something that weighs 220 pounds.
What's it
How
picking
much?
up?
Okay. How much does the Talonflame weigh for starters?
Probably only like 10 pounds.
I'm going to say like 65.
54.
I was pretty close.
You're
Thank
close.
you, Skydrop calcs. I do not remember them that well, but I had vague ball. I had to learn like I don't know if you guys were around for competitive, but Skydrop, which they took away because they couldn't figure out how to make it work with Dynamax, even though it was a very interesting move. It was broken for more than it wasn't broken, actually. But Skydrop had to do with like combined weights and individual weights. So anything that could use Skydrop, you had to sort of have a vague ballpark of how much them and your Pokemon weighed combined. So that's why I was roughly close on Talonflame.
If it can pick up 220 pounds, I made a small list of other Pokemon that if Talonflame knocks them out, it could pick them up and carry them away. Charizard, Garchomp, Archaladon, Mega Phalanx, Genesect, Golden Go, me.
Also me.
Yeah, me. You just pick me up and after
They're
knocking me
under
out.
225, right?
Under 220.
Mega Swampert.
Yeah.
Mega
Just,
Blastoise.
just keep listing them.
Tropius.
No worries.
Mega Kangaskhan. Venusaur.
Yep. It'll do that.
Palafin. Yeah, it's I mean it's most Pokemon.
It's the mass majority of Pokemon can be picked up. I mean, you could pick up like
Conkeldurr.
like all of these Pokemon that people see is like, oh, no, just Talonflame could literally grab them and just take them away. No wonder Skydrop works so well. It's not okay, but it is still very funny that Pokemon doesn't understand how weight works. As far as like what they could add into the next game, I mean, they do have those massive Philippine eagles.
I will say the heaviest Pokemon there is a flying type.
Is it?
Yes,
It's
Celesteela.
Oh yeah.
yeah, that would do it. Man, that thing learning Leech Seed was weird until you learned the lore about it. I miss the Ultra Beasts. I said it. I want them back.
Bring them back.
I like those guys. But as far as like what you could add to the game, you mentioned them earlier. I think it'd be cool to put some like swallow-tailed kites in the game.
Thank you. I was gonna bring them up again, but yes, I think they're really interesting. I would also love an Osprey.
Oh yes, ospreys would be cool. Oh, I love an osprey. They're the most effective birds of prey. Like one of them, they have one of the highest catch rates and kill rates of any bird of prey. Although you'll never see them at a zoo and aquarium. They have anxiety issues. They don't like.
They kind of look like they do up close.
Yeah, they don't like things. They don't really like much of anything. They just kind of survive as best they can, hoping not to get robbed by bald eagles, which I have seen happen. It's very funny. I actually think Swellow would have a regional variant that could be a swallow-tailed kite.
I would like that. It actually fits. It's very fast. It has a good attack stat. I could also see them doing like a special attack, like doing a Braviary thing where the new version special just to differentiate it. Which would be really cool because Swellow does learn Boom Burst.
Ooh, that would be good. I think a harpy eagle, like a true, like given we're going to a jungle region, like that would be dope. Like the whole thing about a harpy eagle having like such a shorter wingspan to be able to go through the jungles and pick up sloths and carry them away is rad. It's a terrifying bird to deal with on that level. Maybe a kestrel? I'd like it.
Kestrel. We have a mated pair of kestrels at my work that have been there for several years now, and I love seeing them every year.
Chris, do you know what a kestrel is?
I do not.
All right, I'm gonna put. Yeah, they are basically. I call them micro falcons. They are absolutely adorable. They're super cute, but the problem is that most people think like, oh, it's just adorable. I can't do anything. It has all the features of a bird of prey. They're just little.
Oh, it's
Look at
cute.
him. Yeah, he's adorable. He's like they're not supposed to be scary looking unless you're a mouse.
Yeah.
Or actually, they can take on things that are their size. Like they can take down pigeons.
Well, we just talked about pigeons and starlings. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like people assume that like they're only taking out little bugs, but like imagine having to hunt something that is your size and often maybe a little bit heavier. Like it's pretty cool. Like they're really hardcore. Ah, I love a good bird of prey. I mean, look, there's plenty of bird Pokemon. We've done episodes on flying types, for God's sakes. Like, there's plenty to talk about. But I do love the fact that we have so many cool bird Pokemon, and we didn't even get a chance to talk about all the owls or our vulture Pokemon or any of the other ones that are like just so integrated into our own ecosystems. Like these animals are so cool and so terrifying if you're something small and adorable. I really do love talking about them, and I love getting a chance. And like in life, I've gotten a chance to work with them, and it's one of the happiest I've ever been. It's working with these animals. I'm just glad I could talk about it. Man, I do hate fighting Staraptor though. I hate having to be prepared. It's annoying.
Just click fairy. Just click Moonblast. Just click Blizzard.
I know.
Have a ghost.
I want to click Icy Wind on my Hisuian Zoroark and slow the team down.
Put Will-O-Wisp on your Zoroark.
Yeah, I need to run it as support. I got to stop running it as attack and start.
I think you can very easily run. I think it's like one of those offensive support guys where you could go. Yeah, we'll before we get into 10 minutes of this, we can do this after the show.
Yeah, we'll do this afterwards. All right, for everyone who's listening, thank you so much. For those who are listening who are in the Raleigh area, we got a con we're going to. We are once again going to be at GalaxyCon. And for those of you who have not gone, it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing a few. We only have one panel this year. It's going to be on bugs and bug-type Pokemon. I submitted two. We only have room for one, but it gives me an excuse to go to Raleigh. Raleigh has my two favorite things in it. that really cool natural history museum, and Chris.
There we go.
Not in that order, I promise.
It's a great museum, though.
It is a really good museum. That was so cool that other Chris gave us that tour once.
Yeah.
That was sick. All right, guys. Please, if you can come to the Raleigh panel, we'd love to see you. We'd love to talk to you. If not, we're going to be at Dragon Con, of course, so come to that. If you can't come to that, well, then keep listening, please. We love doing this, and we love doing it for y'all. So thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, everybody.